Hello everybody, this is Vinton, aka BitB, and welcome out to another BitB stream. Thanks for coming out. It is Saturday, and it is very cold in here. Good God. Alright, we're playing some Apollo Justice today, but wow, I just wanted to say that. I'm kind of... Before the stream started, I'm actually sort of wondering if the heater's working properly. It'll be fine. I think my computer kind of works as a space heater anyway, so I think it'll be okay. I'm not going to freeze to death. It's just really cold in here, and... It's like, it's also one of the coldest days of the year, well, of the season so far, that's for sure. Oh, and the funny other story is that apparently it's not even done being cold. Like, it's going to get even colder. Hurrah. But anyways, yes, I are doing a little bit of Apollo Justice. Now, the last time that we did the stream, I had to stop mid-trial just because, well, that went on for like 4 hours, and by the end of it, my voice just felt like it was giving the hell out. So... we're going to go ahead and we are going to dive back into that trial. So give me 1 sec. Start up capture, get things going, and we are good to go. I'll also make sure the audio for the game itself is up and running. Here, it was a very tad bit quiet the last time I did it, so I'm going to raise it up just a tad. There we go. Okay. Turnabout Serenade. Yes, that's right. We were uncovering a lot of interesting little facts. Like, for example, there's 2 lies in reference to the fact that apparently we're not dealing with a deaf and blind individual, or, stuff like that. And apparently the only person that's actually blind is Lavoie. So, hello. Okay. Everything seems to be working. Let's get this started. July 10th, 1:40 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. Apollo, I can't believe it! It really happened during the second act? Right in the middle of Lamar's performance? Mm-hmm. Why she was in that air vent, and that switch, and the flaming guitar. When you link it all together, that's what you end up with. I knew you had what it took. Ooh. So, how you doing? Jeez, where have you been the entire time? Daddy! Mr. Wright, you believed in me? Yeah, not really. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Like, no vote of confidence. I just thought that'd make a cooler entrance than saying, hiya! I do that all the time. Anyways, why do I even bother hoping? Where have you been lately, Daddy? You haven't been coming to the office at all. Sorry about that, Trucy. I'm on a, secret mission. Secret? You mean like you're undercover? Like Mr. Latouche, only shorter and not as well dressed? Hey, that beanie is very, very classy, alright? And the button? Beautiful. Oh no! What if you're shot too, Daddy? Would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again. You're leaving? Oh, one thing before I go. What? Stop being so shifty. Good luck. Right. This is awkward. So, are we gonna kiss, or what was that? Is that all you came to say? I think you have things pretty much under control. You'll get Machi Tabaye off the hook, no doubt. Yeah, but you're after that detective, aren't you? Darian Crescend. It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system. The current court system? What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based on one fragile assumption. Namely, that our diva divine is telling the truth. But what about all the proof? What proof? Again, it's a little bit shaky, and we are just coming up with nonsense. The brooch, and the switch, a piece of jewelry, and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain these things. The flaming guitar fucking... How do you explain a flaming guitar if not for controversy? And some sort of hidden nonsensical plot. All because you lack definitive proof of their connection to the case. But... if the sultry songstress is lying, your case melts like butter in a frying pan, leaving behind the faintly singed scent of failure. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Oh, don't you hand me any more false evidence, you asshole. Ugh. Oh, that reminds me. I have something to give to you from our detective friend. Damn it. Detective Sky? Emma? Let's see. This bag of snacks here was meant for me. Ah, here it is. What are those, Daddy? They don't look like very good snacking material. I snack on glass. They were found at the crime scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder. Gunpowder? Probably a firecracker or something similar, like the ones kids are into these days. Oh yeah, I heard that that's kind of an interesting thing in Japan. Just a lot of people use a lot of firecrackers. At random old times, I think like very specific times of the years, but it can get obnoxious. These fragments were found under the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually. Under the sofa? Yep. That sounds about right. So that thing was probably linked in some way, shape, or form to that remote switch, is what I'm assuming. Hey, Apollo! That's where we found that little device thingy. Right. This. Well, finally, some evidence that makes sense. Very well. Well, I'm taking a look at this. That's a firecracker. It almost looks like, yeah, pieces of glass. That's all for me, I suppose. See you after the verdict. Maybe. Right. Every man has an igniter inside him. Excuse me? Find Darian Crescent's igniter and set it off. Whoosh! And he walked out the door just like a magician. Normally. What does he want us to do? No conventional methods? What does that mean? I guess we just have to take his advice and hope it makes sense when the time comes. I guess. We're almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Trucy. Right then. I'll have to examine those pieces of firecracker. July 10th, 1:55 p.m. District Court, Court number 3. Here, hold on a second. Let me go ahead and check that real quick right now. Found at the crime scene, bearing gunpowder residue. Possibly a firecracker? Okay. Well... Circle. Examine the thing. Ooh. So, you think this was some kind of firecracker? Yeah, or one of those noisemakers like you shoot off on New Year's. Did you know that in China they use firecrackers on New Year's to scare off evil? So, it's kind of the same thing. Really? I had no idea! Well, did you know this? It takes more than 500 peanuts to make one 12-ounce jar of peanut butter. At least my useless facts had something to do with the evidence. Whatever. Is that everything involved with this, I guess? I suppose. Alright, so nothing special about it. We just have a set of firecracker nonsense. And we're back. Court is now back in session. Prosecutor Gavin, where is Detective Crescent? In the witness lounge, ready to be called at any time. Very well. Might I add, I don't believe any of this. Darian was the first detective I ever worked with. We stopped working together when he moved to Criminal Affairs, Division 3. But his guitar playing, it fires my imagination. That's nice, but it has nothing to do with the matter at hand. Correct. Oh, I know. Yeah, go ahead. Very well. Call the final witness to the stand. Detective Darian Crescent. Alright, how do we pin this on him, eh? Name and occupation, please. Darian Crescent, Detective, Criminal Affairs, Division 3. That's the International Affairs Division, for those of you who didn't know. And I'm a guitarist for the Gaviniers. Maybe you've heard of us? Do you fully understand the circumstances under which you stand before us today? Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. Meh. You gave me your word I wouldn't be standing here. The situation's changed, Darian. And don't call me partner. So much for old friends. Yeah, don't play a friend card right about now. You're both under oath, and you are both about to be under arrest. I see what you're doing, Darian. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if we could begin the trial.
Yes, it's high time we did. Let's hear your testimony. You may begin with your response to Lemoire's testimony, if in fact you have anything to say about it.
Well, I got plenty to say. Lying must be a national pastime in Virginia. And wherever you're from, Mr. Justice.
Scumbag. Conventional methods are out the window, huh? Here goes nothing.
So does that mean I can't press him? Because that was my conventional way. The diva's lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up her story. In the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots. As if. Didn't Detective Emma Skye hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? The shooting took place when I was on stage, man.
Or was that something else we heard? So you claim Lemoire's testimony was a lie?
Hey, don't get me wrong. I dig what she's doing. Trying to protect that kid. And she's got the court eating vague statements out of her hand just because she's blind.
You go too far, Darian.
Look, all I'm saying is, you got a reliable witness. Why not listen to the detective?
Detective Skye? I see. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. Hey, you didn't waste any time on finding one weak spot. I can't do this with Lemoire's testimony alone. I'll have to find some other way to prove when the shooting took place.
I have an idea in my head, and I hope I don't pull it too quickly. But he was lying. All right, so saves. Once again. Right. He was lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back her story.
You don't have any proof she was lying!
Well, yeah, kid. You saying I lied?
No, I'm just saying...
Apollo, glare back at him.
I couldn't help it. I flinched my reflex. Detective Crescend!
Yeah. What do you want? Oh my god. He is very much a JoJo character right about now.
Nothing.
Apollo, chin up. Back straight. You're wilting.
This guy's hard as nails. He makes walking look downright cooperative.
Look, there's no way the diva remembers my voice. In the first place, she never heard my voice.
You never talked to her, even though you were playing in the same concert?
Not a word, as far as I can recall.
But weren't there some planning sessions or something?
Yeah, Gavin took care of all that himself. Darian wasn't involved in any of the meetings with her. As if you can just go around remembering everyone's voice like that anyway. Only an idiot would believe that.
Lemoire's hearing is very sensitive. She could remember him if she heard him, I'm sure of it. I just can't prove it. And I need proof.
Well, let's think about that when we look at the evidence later on. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots. As if.
We know she missed the words. The mixing board proved it.
Oh yeah, there was a mistake. But blaming it on gunshots is just a lame excuse.
What do you mean?
The mixing board proves what? Proves that was a mistake in the song. A missed cue. So, she just flubbed it up. Big time, that's all. She spins the story around a gunshot to protect the kid and cover for her own goof. Man, I'd have to hand it to her if she was sticking it to me. If she wasn't sticking it to me at the same time.
Darian, watch what you say. Lemoire is an artist. She just flubbed it up. That's no small accusation for a performer of her caliber.
Yeah, she got to you all right. I could see it in your eyes. I tell you, most of her stuff is so pretentious, it's way over my head.
I'm detecting a rift in the Gavineer's ranks.
Anyway, she's too close to the defendant. Her testimony can't be trusted. You ask me, I'd go with Detective Sky's story at the drop of a pick. Didn't Detective Emma Sky hear those gunshots during the third set anyway?
Actually, I was there too.
So I hear. Which means you heard them too, right? The gunshots?
Yes. We heard gunshots. Neither I nor Emma actually saw the shooting, mind you.
I guess you and Lemoire got the same excuse then. We know one thing for certain here. There were gunshot-like sounds that emanated from that room during the third set.
Emented? I don't use that word often.
What we must determine is whether those sounds were actually gunshots.
Machi heard them too! Remember? He said he ran for the air duct when he heard them. So, how do we figure out just what those gunshots during the third set were?
Shooting took place when I was on stage, man.
That could have been what the shooter wanted us to think.
I'll tell you what the shooter, that kid, wants you to think. He wants you to think the diva heard me in that room.
Good. I'm back to relying on Lemoire's testimony.
As much as I'm enjoying the Darien and Forehead show, there's no need for such tempers.
Don't make us into some comedy duo.
This means that Gavin and Darian's show's cancelled. Neither of your claims could be proven or disproven. We could argue for days like this and get nowhere.
Prosecutor Gavin is quite right. This court will hear no further discussion on this topic without new facts. New facts, huh?
He's pretty eager to plant Lamar as a liar, isn't he?
Yeah, because her testimony is basically our entire case.
This is tough. So, what do we do?
Got a few ideas. I just need to find another way to prove it didn't happen when he says it did.
Well, I have one thing that I think might work. I'm gonna save just in case. I don't know. In case, like, maybe there was some kind of a piece of testimony that I tripped over to ignite other things, but... Didn't Detective Emma Sky hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? I think this is what I'm supposed to be presenting on. And conveniently, there's some burnt fragments of what seems like a firecracker.
Yes!
I was a little worried that I was calling that a little bit too early, but because he literally just handed me those as evidence. Like, this can't be right. But error.
Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial. What things?
The first was this small device. That's the remote triggered igniter.
Correct. And one more thing. What are those? The remains of something burnt. Oh, not another guitar, I hope.
That would be a very tiny guitar. It's like the world's smallest violin. Traces of gunpowder were found on these fragments. We have a report that it was something like a firecracker.
How did Gavin know about this?
Why, you think Detective Sky works for you? I received the report this morning before coming here.
Why did you not say shit?
That's when I made my decision, actually.
What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin?
I registered Darien as a witness in today's trial. Just in case.
This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the third set could have been two firecrackers rigged to go off by remote control.
That is complicated as hell. You got an active imagination, don't you? But you shouldn't say every little thing you think. Your explanation there seems a bit too convenient to me.
How so?
So, you're saying these firecrackers just happened to go off right when two witnesses came walking by?
That's right! Darien was out on stage when it happened, Apollo. How would he know someone was backstage right then?
If a firecracker goes off in the forest and there's no one there to hear... You get my drift? Why go through the trouble, man?
How do I explain this?
He may not look it, but Darian is a gifted detective. Show any weakness, and he's sure to find it.
He may not look it, partner. Gee, thanks, man. I mean, look at the doofy hair.
That reminds me. I happened to pass through that very hallway several times that day myself. And I saw something odd there just before the third set.
Something odd?
A headset. The kind all the band and the staff members were wearing.
All right. I was wondering when that was going to come in, being like, somebody can hear things in that hallway. That's right. We picked this up in front of the door to that dressing room.
What if that headset wasn't dropped, but placed? And what if it was turned on?
We know it was turned on. You could hear what was going on in that hallway, even if you were on stage. So whose side are you on, Gavin?
Listen to me, Darian. There are no sides in a court of law.
Seems opposite to that.
Which is why I now turn to you, Mayor Forehead. I have a question for you.
For me?
The igniter and the burnt fragments that were found at the scene of the crime. It's certainly a possibility that they were part of a ruse to fake the sound of gunshots. Throw the headset from the hallway into the mix and you could fabricate an alibi. But we're still no closer to proving anything. Those gunshots might have been real or fake. We can't say. You've raised the possibility that the shots heard during the third set were faked. Now you need to prove the other half of the case.
The other half? Look, I'll just tell him. He wants you to prove the thing went down in the second act, while our little piano player was on stage. And right, Gavin?
Indeed. If you can't prove that, then to continue this cross-examination would be pointless.
Well, Mr. Justice. Again. Those 3 words are all I need to be like, let's save. Can you prove the crime took place during the second act? Yeah, I think. You'd better know, Apollo, otherwise we're through. It can be proven!
You make it sound like someone else is going to come along and do it for you.
Let's continue with the cross-examination then, shall we? Witness your testimony, if you would. This isn't going to be easy. I need some decisive proof and fast. You ready, kid? Because I am. Shooting took place during the second set. If you're so sure, let's see your proof. Shooting took place during the second set. You know... Alright. Let's think about this one. What would... wait a minute. I gotta think it's the brooch, because, like, if you... During the second set, the brooch was there, and then it was gone, and then it showed up in the, in the dressing room, so I'd have to say the brooch would probably be it, right? Fuck. No. Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement? I'm not sure I follow you. It contradicts the... I thought... You don't sound very sure, Mr. Justice. Objection overruled. I suppose, now that I think about it, there's nothing that proves that the brooch was at all involved with the crime, so... Actually, yeah. Just because it fell off during the second set during the transfer doesn't necessarily mean that what we heard... You know, that brooch happened during the murder, so... I guess the other thing that I was thinking was something revolved around the... No, because the remote trigger... The remote trigger could have been the thing that set the guitar on fire at the right moment, so you can't really prove that. See, the shooting took place during the second set. If you're so sure, let's see your proof. Well, what a part of the shooting would be directly connected to the second set, if that were the case?
Let me think. I don't know. There's not much very clear about that. Let me try and press it. I don't know why.
But the gunshots heard during the third set could have been...
What, some kind of setup? I've heard that one before.
We need proof, Apollo. We need to prove that the shooting took place during the second set. Well, if you know how to do that, I'm all ears.
Maybe the gunshots are the key after all.
What do you mean?
Well, Lamar said she heard them, right? Right in the middle of her illusion, when she was up above the ceiling. When she forgot the words to the song, yeah. If you can prove the gun was shot right when she missed those lyrics, we're home free, I think.
True. Not easy, but true.
Is there some way to prove that? Let's take a look through our evidence. Maybe there's something in there.
Hey, aren't you supposed to be cross-examining me? Try to refrain from private discussions during cross-examination, Mr. Justice. Right, Your Honor. Sorry. Just let me take a quick look through their court record.
Alright. Alright. That gives a little bit of context to it. Shooting took place during the second set. If you're so sure, let's see your proof. Okay, there's got to be some further proof. Something, okay. Involved with Lamar walking through the vents. I mean, we've already discussed the whole flubbing the line at that moment, but that doesn't directly connect with gunshots. Oh, does that have anything to do with the diagram, perhaps? I don't know. Let me check this. Well, okay, so the gun would have gone off at that moment. I'm trying to think if maybe there was something to do with the... Because this is Lamar's place. I was thinking maybe something to do with the timing of when the bands were going to be in the pit at any given time, but actually that's... Yeah, that wouldn't actually mean anything. So... If you're so sure, let me see your proof. Okay, so ultimately, what we don't want to prove is that the remote trigger in any way, shape, or form was used during that second set, so I don't think the remote trigger or the guitar would be at all proof with that. So, does it have anything to do with the igniter, perhaps? Identical igniters in Gavin's guitar and the crime scene, triggered by remote... That seems sludgy. No. Doesn't mention the lyrics. We've already presented the burnt fragment, so I don't think that would do anything. Found at the crime scene bearing gunpowder residue. Possibly a firecracker. No particular proof linking it to the exact moment that Lamar was up above the vent. I just wish there was a way to actually, like, hear the gunshot at the exact same time. Like, that would help out a little bit. What about the revolver? Is there anything involved with that? The murder weapon. Deadly high-caliber revolver belonging to Mr. Latouche. Don't think so. The investigation request just seems stupid. Keyring. Shooting took place during the second set. If you're so sure, let me see your proof. Found in the victim's left hand. Holds keys to a guitar case and a motorcycle. Does the key ring maybe? Let me think about this. So, does that fit properly? Okay, so for the victim to be holding the guitar case, this would have had to happen. I don't know. Would that work? I'm trying to think like no, because the keyring isn't really linked up in any way, shape, or form with Lamar climbing through the vents. Death due to loss of blood from a gunshot wound. Estimate time of death between those times. That tells us nothing. Crime photo. Victim shot in shoulder in Lamar's room. Touch the check button for details. And if you check it, it's got the wording. The wording was just his serial number. Yeah, no. And we pressed this. I'm gonna press this again just to take a look at that final little bit when we were talking about the case. Okay, we need to prove that the shooting took place during the second set. Maybe the gunshots are the key after all. Well, Lamar said she heard them, right? Right in the middle of her illusion when she was up above the ceiling. If you can prove the gun was shot right when she missed those lyrics, we're home free, I think. So how did we prove that specifically? I mean, I don't really know, aside from maybe doing something with the mixing board. Allows music to be played in separate tracks, but I think the guitar serenade is the one queued up. I thought maybe if you could isolate the vocals, then maybe you'd be able to actually hear gunshots, but that would sound... I mean, you could misinterpret that as the firecrackers, too. I don't... Am I just overthinking this? Should I just be gunning for an answer? Can't be too sure. I'm not really sure. I'm at that point. I feel like I should just try out things that are directly in connection with the moment that the singing was happening. So I'm going to try the mixing board. That's right! Hey! Alright, how about that? It seems there was clear proof left behind. Right here in Lemoire's song. Song? What exactly is this device thingy? I don't know. Confounded technology. All I understand is my old typewriter. A new variety of gramophone? Yes. Okay, I said typewriter, but I think he works a little bit more with stones being banged together. Come on, we just used this. Don't get me started on gramophone. This device was used to record the performance part by part. You move the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately, Lamar's voice included. Ho 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 ho! But what does this prove? According to Lamar's testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words to the song. Oh, you intend to examine the recording at the moment, yeah? We might even hear those gunshots. Exactly. Ridiculous. How are you supposed to hear gunshots back in that dressing room out on stage? Haven't you forgotten, Darian? We were all wearing these headsets. No. We were all deeply involved in our performance. But Lamar's headset would have picked up what she heard all the same. Then let's get to analyzing that recording. Right now! Lamar stopped singing when she heard the shots fired. Find that spot, and I'll find the gunshots. Yes, okay, let's do this. So... Alright, so number one is the, Here, hold up. Pause. Hold the phone. It should be on number one, and then... How do I make this work? I don't even know. Crap. Wait. Did I not do this properly? Here. I don't know, this machine's confounded. Here. Yeah, it would have been number one, right? Your Honor, listen closely to this part.
This is the track with Lamar's vocals. When you stole away the keys. Oh my god! That's jarring. Bang! What the? What? It sounded like a gunshot! What? This has to be some kind of mistake!
I believe a case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set, which means Lamar's testimony was true.
Not if somebody says it was those firecrackers. So we have to prove that the firecrackers happened on the third set. So she was telling the truth about what she heard?
It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche.
Well, what did he say?
It's over. Press the switch now.
Just after that, there was a gunshot, and then the guitar caught on fire.
Detective Crescend, you weren't on stage during the second set. You could have done it.
But why did we only hear one gunshot on the recording? Weren't 2 bullets fired from this weapon? Lamar was moving through the air vent, Your Honor. She must have not been close enough to for the mic to catch the first shot. Meh. But then, as she passed over the dressing room... Boy, those were really like scattered shots then. The gun fired again, and Mr. Latouche's life was taken. Well, Detective Crescend... getting my hair all ruffled.
Once again, I am reminded of something.
Becca.
Our performance that day.
Your performance?
Seeing the mixing board jogged my memory. But you were there too, Forehead? What is it with today? Problem after problem. Ach, done. My heart won't start. My guitar case is... My hog won't start, rather. Not heart. What?
My heart stopped.
My guitar case is busted. My guitar's been burnt to a crisp, and to top it all off, someone's dead. And then there was that performance just now. What was that all about?
Are you gonna blame him and his horrible guitar skills for also hit the murder? This part is off.
Which is that? Second guitar? It was you, Darian. I thought it strange at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? I know you. I know how you play. You're better than that.
You what? And Prosecutor Gavin, what are you getting at?
I'm talking about the murder weapon, Mr. Latouche's .45 caliber hand cannon. As we have learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with a revolver that size. The kickback is enough to dislocate your shoulder if you're an amateur.
My God! Wait! You mean his plane was affected because he hurt himself shooting that revolver? You're forgetting something. Yes, Detective Crescend? I am a trained police officer, you know. I've had firearms training, plenty of it. I'm no amateur.
The standard sidearm issued to police officers is a .38 caliber weapon. Much tamer beast. Also, the murder weapon belonged to the victim, Mr. Latouche, which suggests there was a struggle between killer and victim.
So, the killer might not have been holding that revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean?
Thought it occurred to me, yes?
Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Crescend!
What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeves, rolled up, ready for action, has to say. Hey, you, attorney.
Me?
Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You got a little noise on a tape that could be anything. And you have an alleged guitar cue missed during a .45 caliber kickback. I wait for this case, Gavin. I really do. You can line up your little weak pieces of evidence all you want, I didn't shoot that manager. And that's the obvious truth.
The witness, unfortunately, as much of a giant asshole as he is, has a point. The defense's arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Crescent. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it.
Okay. Look for some saucy proof. Come on. Why would I even want to kill the manager? You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. This was that diva's first trip to this country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? I have a few reasons in my head.
A simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Latouche had not been to our country before?
According to our records, yes. Not even once.
I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
Great. Now I need to find a motive. Yep. We're being handed the cards and we are expected to play. I already know the motive, but I'm going to try and discern which one of these it probably is, so... Come on, why would I even want to kill the manager? That could easily be it. Why do I want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive. This was that diva's first trip to our country, right? How could I possibly know a manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. Well... Let me think about this. How do I want to layer this? Because I know the motive. The motive is for a cure. Chief Justice's son, who was inflicted with enteritis. Could it possibly be both of these things? Replica of a cocoon from which a remedy for enteritis may be extracted. Oh, which one? You know what? It's probably this one. And then the explanation is the newspaper article. Got it! Nice.
Your Honor, take a look at this Fabergé egg. What's that? Looks like candy. Don't eat it, sir.
It's not. Don't lick it, please. Detective Crescent, ever seen this? It looks like a piece of candy. What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. Ha! Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings.
Cocoon? Never seen one that color.
It is a variety only found in the Republic of Borginia. Nowhere else.
All right. But what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely this has nothing to do with a motive for killing Mr. Latouche. Does it?
It does. Wait. I mean, I think it does. You don't sound so confident, man.
A cocoon. Is it one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make silk out of?
Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative.
A curative? For what?
Apparently it is most efficacious? Holy shit. At treating a disease thought incurable. It's the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Borginia.
Whatever for? If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world?
Because the goddamn drug industry, Your Honor. Yeah, that's what I've been wondering.
I looked into the matter at some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy for the cocoon. Yet, if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact.
What a fucking excuse. You can make anything poisonous, really.
There was an incident several years ago where some of these got out onto the black market. Caused quite the commotion in the global community. though the media was kept largely unaware.
Intriguing.
All this has led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export. One rigidly enforced by Interpol, among others.
Interpol. Where have I heard that noise? Yes. Right! The victim, Romain Latouche, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescend, you insist on referring to him as a manager. But that is misleading. Romain Latouche wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent. So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into this country? That what you're trying to say? I'm saying that could well be a motive for murder.
Oh, so I was gonna sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny? Ridiculous. I mean, totally unthinkable.
Unthinkable, you say. Why? Perhaps it's time for another testimony about this smuggling of cocoons business.
Yes. I'll go ahead and knock this one down too, because I know exactly why you need a cure. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market, too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in Interpol Affairs. I know the deal.
Pfft. You're not trying to smuggle, you jackbag. Indeed. Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover.
You kids think of the craziest things. But no way am I gonna risk life and limb just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money.
Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted.
According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky.
Very well. You may begin the cross-examination. This is the only motive I've got. He was up to something, and I'm gonna find out what. Very well.
Well, the bracelet isn't glowing, so I don't know. I don't know. This one's a little... it's a little grayer with this one, so I think I'm actually going to press stuff. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons.
Sure. That memo! That's how you knew about the cocoons!
Oh, nice one. I'm running scared now.
You had to know about the cocoons to plan this. Just how well known all these cocoons? I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I've never heard of them. Well, Lamar knew about them, though not their use.
My reports indicate that there are ongoing efforts to control information about the cocoons. Most people only know they're illegal to export. That's all.
Then, I've nothing to be embarrassed about after all, huh?
You could say people like me who know about them are a minority, yeah. But that includes everyone in international affairs, man. And everyone in Interpol, too, for that matter, yeah. Interpol's all hot and bothered about him.
Yeah? So, there are other Interpol agents like Mr. Latouche?
All over the world, likely. Deep undercover, most of them. That's why these cocoons are too hot for the black market. You don't want Interpol sniffing through your wares. Most came to the conclusion that can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous.
Dangerous?
Yeah, Interpol finds you. They arrest you on the spot. Or another marketeer might think you're part of a sting and take you out himself. Times have changed. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore.
But wouldn't scarcity drive up prices?
Yeah, and attention. Every gangster and his brother would want a piece of that action. They turn your forehead into Swiss cheese before you could say objection!
Maybe we could get them to cut his hair too.
Who's on trial here again? Man, you so obviously know nothing about that market.
And that's a bad thing.
Don't even try to mess with me about this stuff. Man, I'm in Interpol Affairs. I know the deal.
Which is why you know how to find a loophole in the system.
Hey, you can say what you want about me, but back off on international affairs. There ain't no loopholes, okay? What do you think we are, Boy Scouts?
That wasn't what I was trying to...
Down, Darien. It's as you say. There are no loopholes, at least in this case of these cocoons. International Affairs, Interpol, and Borginian Customs are all watching.
See? We know what we're doing. Not like some yipping little doggies that lap up every word that diva says. Stop making fun of people. Why I oughta... Oughta what? You want some of this? My scrawny little ass, are you kidding me? I might be 6 foot tall, but I'm chicken bones.
Chill, both of you. Let's do this cool, yeah?
Yeah, screw cool. I want this guy's head on a stick. The replica has to be the key to this motive. There's gotta be a way to find out what he was up to. I know what he was up to.
International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market, too dangerous. Cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Okay, so which one of these would be a good thing to present the paper on? International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Maybe that one. Perhaps, I don't know. I'm gonna save, just in case there's like a doubling back that we need to do at some point. All right, I try. Article about the Chief Justice's son who is inflicted with incuritis. Shit!
This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction to that statement, Your Honor. How exactly are all the evidence in the statement just now related? They aren't they? Not at all. Mr. Justice, please think the facts over before making accusations.
Well, damn it, I don't know which one to present on. Interpol's all hot and bothered about him. Can't sell them on the black market, too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. I'm in international affairs. I know the deal. Maybe this one? Shit. Oh, God. I'm gonna... Maybe this is too quick. Okay. Cocoon smuggling ain't lucrative anymore, but do you know what is lucrative? Finding the cure for incuritis. That's right. Fuck. I knew the answer. I just didn't know which one to point at. Oh, I missed that. I would. How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they find out it was a cop, I could kiss my case to goodbye. Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this?
That article. Just about the... that's about the Chief Justice's...
A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon, but so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for incuritis.
Incuritis? I've heard of that somewhere.
You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning.
Wow! What? That's the disease the Chief Justice's son has! You aren't saying...
Our witness is a detective. He would have contract with the Chief Justice.
You are saying the Chief Justice would never deal in contraband?
Not even to save his own son's life?
But even if the deal went through, why, it'd be an international scandal.
That's Detective Crescent's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be Chief Justice.
Detective Crescent, is this true?
First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler. How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway?
Distasteful as it is to think about, if the Chief Justice were the buyer, why, a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. A very cowardly seller.
Don't let sleeves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice. What's your proof?
Well...
Oh, yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing.
Do tell.
Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Borginian Customs barely sleeps. They're so worried about cocoons getting out.
So we're informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination.
Virginian Customs is very thorough. Everything and everyone gets checked. Is there proof to the contrary of that? I'm gonna press it. Just how strict is this customs check? Way strict. They keep planes on the ground for hours.
I do recall it being a bit extreme. They were even confiscating gumdrops and marshmallows.
Those fiends! Yes, it would be hard to distinguish them. It'd be very hard to have your hot cocoa.
I don't know why hot cocoa is in my head. I think it's just the fact that it's still really cold in here. No, better, now that my computer is running on, like, full tilt.
That's right. Gavin was in Borginia, wasn't he?
I remember setting off the metal detector several times. I had to practically strip naked to walk through.
Ooh la la! Here's a travel tip for you, Gavin. Leave it to bling at home, you glimmerous fop.
Alright. Cocoon possession will get you arrested on the spot and then sentenced to death.
That's pretty extreme.
Virginia has this rep as an idyllic, laid-back place. Truth is, they're beyond hardcore with security.
The Republic of Borginia is a peaceful, pleasant country. So this level of security shows us how truly concerned they are about these cocoons.
That's the situation. Hey man, if there's a way to get cocoons out of there, I'd sure like to know. Well, considering the fact that we do have one particular group of people that came from Borginia who are very well known. Well, I'm pressing this.
You're in a position to know quite a bit about smuggling.
Yeah, I need to know a bit for work, sure. But we all get our reports on the failed smuggling ops. Not exactly something you want to go copying. But if you want, I can tell you a few of them. Maybe you'll succeed and get rich.
I'll be interested in hearing. Purely for a legal perspective, of course. I weep for our judicial system. The replica has to be the key to his motive. There's gotta be a way to find out what he was up to.
Maybe he was very, very tricked by the replica? I don't know. Anyway. International Affairs got a memo. Okay, so it's got to be one of the newer ones. Borginian Customs is very thorough. Everything and everyone gets checked. Cocoon possession will get you arrested. Hey man, if there's a way to get cocoons out there, I'd sure like to know. Well, if I had to take a guess, I would say one of the easiest ways to get a cocoon out of there would be... I wonder if it's this. Replica of a cocoon from which a remedy for incuritis may be extracted. Arrow. Article about the case. It doesn't mention the lyrics or blah, blah. I'm going to save real quick. Because, yeah, I'm sure I have to present some evidence to this. There's a way to get cocoons out of there. I'm sure I'm like, okay, so, I mean, the best way to get it out of there would have to be... Lamoire. Fuck! Damn it! This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction. How exactly they aren't, are they? Not at all, Mr. Justice. Please think the facts over. Crap. Alright. Well... What would be the next best thing, then? I mean, I guess the next one would have to be Latouche, but how do I... Let me see. I mean, yeah, the best case scenario would be trying to get one from these guys, but I don't know how to express that. No, okay, screw it. Your Honor, what do you think about the witness statement?
Not sure I follow you. You don't sound very sure of yourself.
I'm not.
That's enough. I see no need to further prolong this trial. The defense's case is insufficient to overturn the prosecution's claims. The court finds the defendant Machi Tabayi.
Great. Is it the egg? No.
No. I figured not, but okay. I just had a thought. You son of a bitch! That's what you did! You smuggled it in the guitar, you bastard! Actually, there is one way. What? One way to get something out of the country. No checks. What is it? You become a prosecutor. A prosecutor? Yeah, you figured it out, didn't you? I don't believe it. Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. What was it that you told me yesterday at your office? It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting of a woman like Lamar. How did it end up here? I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it. So this guitar is from Virginia? That it is. We couldn't carry it on the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruined the wood. So we vacuum packed it in Lamar's studio. I used a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me. Pristine and untouched. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched. Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum packed in Borginia. The package was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying that guitar was... With cocoons this small, it would have been very easy to use a guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out Borginia! What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, that guitar had some work done on it recently, right? Work? Good memory or forehead? Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It is called the sound hole. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort. A broken device? Yes, this, in fact. An igniter? Exactly. Consider this, if you will. What if that igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar? You mean... He means this, of course. There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better to do that than someone with access, like a member of the band? Order! Something igniter! Was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution. A precaution? Yeah, go ahead. At last, it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Maestro! The gentle sounds of Lamar... I missed the last of that. First, my keys were stolen. A harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break the lock on my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar. I see. But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then, the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler. What's that? Mr. Latouche. Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So, Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon were confiscated then, the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was to get rid of the whole lot. It's over. Press the switch, now! The guitar burst into flames and the cocoon was lost. And then... Mr. Latouche died. with Lamar there to witness it.
There's your case. Is there enough proof for that? Yeah. Brilliant, man. Detective Crescent? I gotta know. You make all that up on the fly?
For a made-up story. It makes a great deal of sense, Darian.
The Republic of Borginia? Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there.
True, you haven't.
Let's see you make up a story for that kid. How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh? It's not so hard to imagine. You had help. A Borginian accomplice. That's all. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lamar heard proves it. It's over. Press the switch, now. You made this transmission from backstage.
Well, your core conspirator was on stage.
But who was it? This is it. The coup de grace. And for once, I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say then. But be warned, with a great accusation comes great responsibility. Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized, Mr. Spider-Man. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice? Uh-oh. What? Lamar was the accomplice?
Perhaps you should get that forehead checked out. As you may recall, Lamar was attacked yesterday. Hardly something one does to one's accomplice.
I'd like to commend Prosecutor Gavin on his superb reasoning. Certainly. And here, have this penalty for your trouble. Shit. Ouch. Let me ask again. Who was the smuggler's accomplice? I swear to God, I thought that made a lot of sense, considering she had heard his voice. But what does that mean? Okay, I don't want to point at Machi. I really would rather not. But a famous magician responsible for the illusion used in the concert. I don't know. That doesn't seem right either. And Clavier. Well, the only other person that would have even been there in the first place might have been Mr. Latouche. Why would you kill him, though? I'm gonna try. Oh, no, that's wrong.
I thought you said the accomplice was Borginian.
Actually, can I take that back? Certainly. And here, have this penalty for your trouble. Crap. Ouch. Oh, boy. We're trying to defend Machi. I don't think it would be him. Oh, boy. There's only one other person from Borginia that I could possibly think maybe did it. There's only one person who meets all... Oh, God. And that person is the defendant, Machi Tabaye. What? But Mr. Justice, he's your client. A defense attorney accusing his client? That's a new one. I assure you, no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I am here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche, and I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime. Indeed, the defendant is Borginian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice, but what if it was, in fact, Lamar? It couldn't have been. Well, you seem sure of yourself. The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor. Electronic signals? Recall that this remote only works at a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless. Yes, that's true. Now, think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, Lamar was in the air vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area that the remote could have reached from the air vent. Interesting. Well, looking at this, it seems that Lamar still could have done the deed. No. When the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar's serenade. Raised up. All fancy schmancy. Prosecutor Gavin and the Lamar stand were in... Yeah. They were on a tower which happened to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lamar's position in the air vent. Oh! Well, Detective Crescend, what do you have to say to that?
Your Honor.
Yes, Detective.
Can we see the video where Gavin's guitar burns? Just one more time?
Well, I don't see why not. What? Don't tell me he has a way out of this.
Pleasure. But a fleeting melody. Okay, yeah, I see the flash. Oh, are you saying that yeah, it started the ignition process really early then? Oh, fuck you, bud. Too bad. So sad. Punk. Punk! First you were sleeves, then kid, now punk. You're losing rank fast, Apollo.
What exactly were we supposed to see in this video?
The problem isn't in what we see, correct, Darian?
Right. It's what you hear. We are musicians, after all.
Care to explain for us non-musicians?
Sure thing, punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the wee pianist to set off that igniter? Is that right?
Yes.
Well, in order to do that, he'd have to press a switch. Am I right?
Okay.
Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano.
Piano?
Pleasure. Hello, piano. What a fleeting melody. I really couldn't hear it all that much. Can we get the mixer out?
What seems to be the problem there? The piano sounded just fine.
And that's the problem, man. You still don't get it? Yeah, how's he supposed to hit that switch if he's playing? You've got Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. The only one with their hands free was the Diva. Lamar. But according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out if they couldn't even press a switch. Oh, really, dude? Well, where did we find that switch in the first place, eh? I know the answer to this shit. He didn't have to lift his hands from the keys. And you picked a very specific moment. The piano plays non-stop. I know the answer. That's the sad part, is that I see where this is going. He couldn't have pressed that switch.
Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be playing when the guitar catches fire.
Well, it's okay. We all make mistakes sometimes. Apollo, were you wrong?
I can't be wrong. Everything makes perfect sense. How can it all just...
Strange.
What's strange?
No, it's just... something's odd about the performance there.
Odd? Mr. Justice, if Machi Tabai didn't press that switch, then he could not be the accomplice you claim he is. But everything points to it. Every fact says he's the accomplice.
You got the facts wrong, man. Here's some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire, but the pianist didn't press that switch. In other words, your story is full of holes.
Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant Machi Tabai the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you've said here. Give it some thought.
Apollo, if Machi's not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined.
I know that! It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped that smuggler.
You'd have to press that switch. Well, you better find a way to prove it. Ugh. What do I do? What do I do? There has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd. Something odd. Wait a second. What? You thought of something? What was Gavin saying just now?
Strange.
What's strange?
No, it's just something's odd about the performance there.
It's not much to go on, but it's all I've got. What exactly did he hear that was odd? Have you come up with something, Mr. Justice? May I remind you that everything rests on this. Can you prove Machi Tamai pressed that switch? Let's hear your final answer.
Now I'm just thinking of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I can prove it. Final answer. Dun dun dun. You won the million. I don't know if you call this proof per se, but I can prove it was possible.
Then, as prosecutor, it falls to me to ask you to show us evidence supporting this. Go ahead. You're sure about this?
Accepted. There's no evidence, man.
Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice. I'm going to save right here just in case I'm wrong.
I'm pretty confident in this, but I'm going to save just because safety.
On what do you base your claim that the defendant pressed the switch?
Something was odd about the performance, eh? Alright, so it's one of two things. It's either A, the switch itself, because I know where it was planted at the time we found it. Or B, it has to do with the mixing board, and we need to listen closely to the piano keys. I'm gonna choose the mixing board first. The basis for my claim is music, Your Honor.
Music? What about music?
Let's listen to the piano part around the time when the switch was to be pressed. Right before the guitar burst into flame. Listen carefully. Sounded a little flat, maybe.
I hear a piano being played.
But, doesn't it sound kind of simple?
Simple?
Oh, I know what he's suggesting. You think Machi could have played that part with one hand?
One hand?
No, that's not what I was thinking at all. He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could play the piano with the other. What? He's some kind of piano savant? Actually, no.
Then what do you know?
Can't play a part like that with one hand.
Maybe. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy.
Yeah, you got something?
Mr. Wright, your father, he's a pianist. Could he...
Oh, Daddy. He couldn't play a part like that even if he had three hands. So sorry. So sad for you.
No, not really. That was just the easy way to prove it.
There's always the hard way.
Man, how are you going to prove whether he played it with one hand or two? You can't. I admit it will be rather difficult to prove, but it's highly likely he was playing with one hand. How do you know that? The clue is what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd.
What sounded odd? I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song.
No way. Well, it seems we've come to the moment of truth at last. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say for himself. Show us the part that proves the defendant was playing with one hand.
Part of me that's sort of thinking that's not the case, but okay. I was thinking something entirely different, but...
Alright. Right before the guitar burst into flame. Machi was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire. One section of the song proves it. Okay, so it was, Alright, let me listen to this clearly here. I have one thing in particular that is kind of squicky for me. So it sounds to me in the second one here. Listen very carefully. Dead stop. Did you hear that? Like right near the very end of the second part, it sounded like just all hands, all feet, everything just suddenly like left the piano here. I wonder if maybe that's it. Because like throughout the entirety of the rest of it, the tones would actually follow into the next notes. Not once did it actually stop at any point. I think, I'm crossing my fingers that this is right. I think it's that bar.
That's the section? I'm afraid I don't hear it. What's your opinion as an artist, Professor Gavin?
It's a beautiful song, and the lyrics are outstanding.
I'll take that to mean there isn't a problem with this section at all. Wait, so what was the odd thing that Gavin heard? The switch was pressed in the first half of the second verse, right?
I know, I just need to find a place to compare to that.
Your Honor! If you'll give me one more chance, I think I can find it. I suppose we don't have a choice. Very well. You claim the defender.
Okay, shit. So, we were trying to go for something that sounds similar. All right, her. Ah, interesting. I think I know what we're going at here. Because I think bar 1 and 3 are the exact same set of music. It's just played differently. Yeah. That entire little bit of the end of the first bar is missing in the third one. So I guess it'd have to be this one.
That's the section. I'm afraid I don't hear it.
Oh shit, I was supposed to pick the first one. Damn it. Damn it. Let's just pick every single section until I'm right. There, okay. I think I got it right. I'm just happy that I managed to, okay. After failing one time, I figured out the second one, and then screwed up on the second one by not picking the first one. Fine. Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you've realized by now just what it was that sounded odd to you. As I'm sure you've realized it yourself, Airforehead.
Realized what?
I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the "but a fleeting melody" phrase. Right.
Man, how many times do we have to listen to that same thing? Oh, it's a very intrinsic thing in the court. I mean, you should know. You've never had a case where you've had to repeat things over and over? Fine. You're right, enough of that. Let's listen to another section, shall we? Another section? The guitar burst into flames at the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot in the first verse. Pay attention to the "Oh, that night in your embrace." Sugar, sugar. Oh, that night in your embrace. Such light notes there, yes.
Play verse 2 again.
Light notes are gone? Yep.
They feel the same, true, but they're clearly very different.
Well put, Your Honor. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. You'd have to use two hands to play that for sure. What's that prove? I would think you'd know that by now. This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man. So the two verses had different arrangements. It happens all the time.
Not this time, Darian. There's no point in changing an arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had him play specifically so that the piano would stay in the background. That was what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different, I asked myself.
Now ask yourself why Machi changed how he played, and there's only one answer. He needed a free hand in order to press the switch. Admit it, you bastard. I'm sick of this.
Order. Order. I'm getting hungry. I believe this ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin?
Yes, quite. Though, personally, this comes as a terrible disappointment.
What, no comeback? I can't believe it. I finally did it. I shut him up.
Very well. Barring an objection from the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter.
Good show, Sleeves. No, great show.
It's not over. I don't like it when you look so happy.
You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointed.
Personally, I'm terribly disappointed. In you, Airforehead?
Me?
Yes, don't get me wrong. Your case is solid. The facts all check out. But even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence.
Yeah, but the facts... Anyone can see it was him. Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. I'm afraid your case doesn't cut it. But 1,000 facts might point towards the same conclusion, but without decisive evidence, it's not proof. That's the rule under our current legal system. I don't believe it. It does not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present.
Oh, I think if he did, we'd already would have seen it a long ways back.
It is unfortunate, but at present this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation.
What? Alright, we gotta work outside the box.
The truth is staring us all right in the face. Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals?
Apollo, remember what Daddy said? It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system.
So what do I do?
Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Every man has an igniter inside him. Find Darian Crescent's igniter and set it off.
I love how I didn't have to remember that. The game was just like, hey, look, notable line. I wonder what he meant by every man's igniter. I think he meant a weak spot, no? Kind of thing that a single spark could turn into a wildfire of emotion. I won't be able to press him further by conventional means. I've got to find a weak spot in this guy. Something fatal. So, can I get back to work now or what? It may look like I got a lot of time on my hands, but I got no more time to play pretend with this deadweight attorney.
Well, Mr. Justice, we've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go.
Every man has an igniter. Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin?
Yes, good guitars are kept dry, is why. That provides the best sound.
Even a small spark could cause irreparable damage. Your plan has an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning. Ooh, what? Please explain to me, dude. Fighting time. Justice. If you blow this one, he'll be out of your hands for good. Go for it, Apollo! What? And this ignite is supposed to come burn me up? It's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney.
All the better. I'm rather fond of poetry. And I intend to hear this one through to the very end.
Yeah.
Air forehead. You are accusing this man, Darren Crescendo, of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Latouche and the smuggling of a Borginian cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case.
This trial has already run on for far too long. Mr. Justice, this will be my last warning.
No, it won't. Because I'm saving. I'm still very confused. I'm not sure what the smoking gun here in this situation is.
The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud is the moment this cross-examination ends. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then let's have it. Show us the basis for these accusations against Darian Crescend.
Okay. This really is my last chance. The key that will take apart Darian Crescend's plan is... present evidence or call a witness. Well, they literally just said he's off the witness stand if I don't do something. I don't know if I can call a witness in this case. I mean, like, he isn't really budging, and he's not really breaking all that much, so... Well, alright, so we've proven without a doubt that apparently that remote trigger was hidden inside the piano and was not triggered inside of it. Which is kind of what I hoped happened, but... Nope. They keep saying the word igniter. I keep thinking, like, what is this? Identical igniters in Gavin's guitar and the crime scene, triggered by remote trigger. I feel like we have not really covered anything involved with the second remote triggering, and the timing of which could very well put him in the right spot to be able to do something about. For shits and giggles, the defense is prepared to show the court evidence. Be my guest.
Be all of our guests, Mr. Justice. Show us evidence supporting your accusations against Darian Crescend.
Mayor?
This is your igniter?
It's a literal one. So, exactly how am I supposed to react to that?
He's not flustered at all. I picked a dud.
I'm afraid your poetic tale ended up to be mere fantasy.
Rarely bites, Mr. Justice. Penalty.
Wow, that's a good last chance.
Ow, ow, ow. I suppose we should let you try once more. Show us the basis for your accusation against Darian Crescend.
Okay. The key that will take apart Darian Crescend's plan. Okay, so they keep saying key words here. Like they said ignite, they said key, they said... And I keep thinking, is it that? My badge! I'm pretty sure it's not the badge, Mario. You know what? Out of shits and giggles here. The key ring. Nope, absolutely not. Okay, there's also a part of me that feels like maybe it does have something to do with another witness. Why not? Let's see what happens when this happens. Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence. So what is it? It is true that I couldn't show decisive evidence, but perhaps what I needed to prove my case was something else.
You mean a witness?
Proving his guilt is a tall order, but I've got just the person to do it. Very well, Mr. Justice. Who is this person who can prove Darian Crescent's guilt?
Alright, well, Emma Sky is not gonna... Well, I mean, it really comes down to whether or not Emma would say something that would slip up and put him on the spot. I feel like it wouldn't. Would anything involving Valiant Gramarye do anything?
You, Your Honor! What? I wasn't there!
Because we've seen, like, barely nothing of Valiant. And he was the one that orchestrated the illusion. Let me think if there's any connections between what the illusion was and what the murder would have been.
You killed Romaine. No.
I doubt it. It really, I don't know. I feel like he's sort of a red herring. 'Cause he's weird, he's freaky, but I feel like Machi might actually break down. Perhaps. If we put him back on the spot and he says something incorrect and something wrong.
Freaking Clavier Gavin.
Yeah. I'm right back down to just being like, what? Which one of you? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is... Okay. Alright, so they're talking about... It's like, hey, igniter, to light up the plan. Who would I consider to be? Man, screw it. Let's see what happens when I do this. The one person who can... okay, the defendant, Machi Tabai.
Your client again?
I don't know. I'm trying random nonsense. Machi Tabaya was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darian Crescent could not have gotten the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle that cocoon is the real criminal in this case. But Machi is light. Is that quite literally what Machi... I don't even know.
How so?
It would require just one of the very cocoons Mr. Latouche was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Borginia, we could burn a cocoon. The burnt cocoon would leave a particular residue. A residue we would, no doubt, also find inside the burnt-out guitar.
Aha! Very scientific of you.
Because he's a child, he doesn't weigh much. Oh. Weight jokes. Right. Thus, if Machi Tabai acknowledges his agreement with Darian Crescent concerning the attempted smuggling of Borginian cocoon, the case is solved. But is he going to do that? It means death. Darian's laughing again. Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to.
Why not?
The little key tickler won't acknowledge anything. Especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling.
What's this all about?
Taking a cocoon out of the country means death. By Borginian law.
Yeah, see? If our penis really was a smuggler, then testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking.
But you're wrong, Detective Crescent. It's the other way around. If Machi doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in deep trouble.
How?
Look, if Machi admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts by our law. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. The victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Borginia.
And they'll likely broadcast our dealings in court today.
Including the part about the Borginian cocoon?
Yeah, but... Stop poking your hair. But, if Machi doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Borginian police. And it's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not gonna find him guilty of murder here. Not now. Yeah, but... You can't do this. You can't accuse me. Maybe the law doesn't allow it. But who's gonna think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? The same goes for Machi Tabai. The cocoon smuggling, your entire plan, Machi Tabai knows everything. There's only one way out of it for him, and that's to acknowledge his own crime. The crime of cocoon smuggling. Again, this is a JoJo character incarnate. Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you up someplace. You'd mansion. Real nice. You want a house made of cookies or no, a house made out of pianos? Come on. Please! Don't talk! Sweet. Bring it home, Gavin.
Darian, I consider that my last session with you. We rocked.
I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession. Uh-oh. He's laughing again. There's a kind of sick desperation in it now, though. Ah, good. I am very lucky I actually chose the right thing there. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I had no idea. I was really teetering, being like, the only person I thought that was really shifty in this case would have had to have been Mr. Uncle, but really, he just seems like he was not involved in it whatsoever. He just seems creepy. But, well, have you been listening to today's trial?
Yes.
And you'll talk? You'll tell this court everything? I didn't want it to turn out this way, but I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime.
Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know. I see no reason why you should hesitate now.
I knew from beginning. I knew.
Machi.
Situation I cannot explain, but money. I needed very much money.
Today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite, in law is evidence. This is the golden rule. However,
it has become apparent that not all things can be tried by the standard.
Should another case of this sort surface, we may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Machi Tabai.
Yes.
I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And with regards to the current changes for the murder of... the charges, rather, of Mr. Latouche, this court is prepared to announce a verdict.
Ah, he took the glasses off. He's got such beautiful blue eyes. I thank you. I only lie, but you see truth. You find truth. English is broken.
That's our job. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Machi Tabai, not guilty of this crime. He's a thieving monstrous miscreant, though. Court is adjourned. Goody-goody. Let's just hope he doesn't end up being deported in any way, shape, or form, because that's going to be bad. I wonder what'll happen to Machi. Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia. I guess there'll be another trial here. All's well that ends well, though. Hey, you're back. Daddy!
I owe you both my thanks.
Oh. Well, he knows very little English. I commend anyone who can even learn English as a second language. It's a stupid language. No, you're right. I believed that for the longest time. Oh, who was it the one? I'm trying to remember. There was a comedian who said, English is the language that takes other languages out back and beats them. Like, it makes no goddamn sense. And what was it? Another thing I saw, the I before E except after C rule. That rule is... that happens within, like, 3 words or something. And then, like, 3 out of, like, 10 or something words in the English language. So it's a stupid rule to begin with. Just... I don't know. It's one of those things that if you don't pay close attention to it in school, you're going to have an absolutely rough time. And, like, I'm honestly... I'm oddly gifted when it comes to knowing a lot of rules for words. But even I screw it up sometimes where I'm like, okay... how many M's was this word supposed to have? It's like, I don't know. It's interesting to look at, especially when you look at anyone else's language, like in, just like Japanese or anything. All of the characters of Japanese, whether it be, kanji or whatever, they are specific words and phrases for very specific things. Like, you're not going to mistake one thing to another thing. Not easily. Unless you really, really don't know how to write the language, in which case, yes, you could. Anyways, I owe you both my thanks. Lamar? Is something wrong? I'm sorry. Machi was your partner on stage, your friend.
Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now I do. Yet, something got a hold of him. Something evil. I see that. And he must pay for what he has done. Is that not how it should be?
I'm still sorry.
Do not be sorry. You have given me courage.
Courage?
I am considering an eye operation.
Oh, wow! Nice! It was my suggestion, actually. You mean you'll be able to see again?
It's funny. I have always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving.
According to the doctor, Lamar lost her sight due to some kind of accident. An accident?
As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I have been running from. I was scared.
You know what changed her mind? Hearing your defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth.
If the light returns to my eyes, I think I will take up painting.
Ah, how picturesque. Painting?
Ah, that's right! She's the landscape painter in sound, after all.
Boy. And that's one thing that I've... oh my god. Like, that... it's interesting to think about just how somebody who might not remember sight, or somebody who just have never seen sight at all, someone that's completely blind, it's weird to consider what they believe the world, their world to be, like what they see and what they know. And it would be weird to think if they could paint, what would they paint? If they could make it cohesive, that would be hard. But it was like, how would they write trees? How would they draw out buildings? What is the world? I don't know. Philosophy.
I will paint the two of you, I promise.
Woohoo! I can't wait, Lamar! I owe you my thanks too, Apollo. Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what?
You reminded me I need to hurry things along.
On my secret mission, that is. Right, your secret mission.
That we've heard before, that we don't know about it. Apollo, Trucy, I hope that we will meet again someday soon.
You bet, me too. And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on and on until it came to the end. Phoenix, I'm still not going to pay you. That's about right. I mean, nobody paid Phoenix. I think it's fair. Thanks to the trial. The guitar's serenade was a huge hit.
Prosecutor Gavin's even more dazzling to look at now. But there's something I want to say to that guy. Next time you write a ballad, have them catch the killer at the end. How freaking sweet. And the end has been cut off at the corner of the screen. Great. That's the only major problem when it comes to this little setup here. That tiny corner, usually on a standard 3D, well, a standard DS screen, nothing will be covered up on that corner. But with this setup, it is. But I think the trade-off is that you get to see more of the top screen, which I like that. Turnabout Succession is the next one. Well, we did a ridiculously long stream that was about 4 hours last time, and this one wraps up this episode pretty good. So I think I'm going to save here, and we're going to dive into Turnabout Succession the next time that we do the stream, and hopefully it'll be metered out a little bit better than the last one. No, I did so many voices for so long the last time that I did this stream, it actually kind of hurt. I need to be careful about that. Like, my voice is pretty good, and it can survive through a lot of stupid nonsense that I put it through, but it's, you know, I'm not invulnerable. I've actually heard of some very well-known voice actors before that, oh god, like Sean Schimmel, who does the voice of Goku. I've heard some funny stories about him in the recording booths. So what did I think of the case? I think it was really well constructed, and it kept me on my toes just enough, but I had enough hunches and enough guesses that I didn't feel like I was ever really stupidly lost. Like, not ridiculously. I did get a little bit, but I usually hopped myself back into it pretty quickly. I had very few moments where something made so little sense that it hurt. Again, that one part where, like, suddenly the alarm started to click in my head, thinking, like, wait a minute. That guitar that was literally shrink-wrapped and boxed up and shipped. Holy shit! Like, I that is why I play these games, for that moment of, Eureka! That's what's happening here. This is one of the more hated cases? Really? I don't see it. I don't understand why people would hate these guys. I mean, I don't. I hate more cases where it's so outlandish and stupid that I probably wouldn't have got it no matter what happened. I think one of my overall... Oh, what would be one of my favorite cases of all of the Ace Attorney games? That's a good point. Like, it had to have been one that was specifically... Oh, I don't even know. I'm trying to think back here. People hate the leap in logic that Machi used the revolver. Or you mean like the leap of logic that the people in the case themselves were talking about? You know, where people were saying, hey, maybe Machi did it. Maybe Machi did the shooting. And then a whole bunch of, gun nuts were like, hey, that's a freaking 9-year-old. A 9-year-old cannot wield that revolver, or like something like that. The idea that Machi could even be the killer. Sometimes you just gotta roll with it. And you know what? I mean, my position was not to ask questions about why people would be so stupid as to think that a small child did it. My mission here is to defend and say why it's impossible. So that's kind of what I followed through with it. It's done to show that the law is flawed. It's on purpose. Yeah, no, I can see that. Anywho's, so the next case, I'm interested in seeing what happens next. So, how many missions have we done so far? So we got the Turnabout Trump mission, which was where we were literally locking up our old mentor. Turnabout Corner, Turnabout Serenade. So yeah, we have dealt with the mafia, we have dealt with a corrupt defense, and we have dealt with rock and roll. I can't even think about what this next one's going to be. People also hate the constant flashbacks to Remain's death and the show. Yeah, I do kind of... I kind of wish that they gave us a little more benefit of the doubt. You know, after you flash back to it like 3 times, that's it. That's all we need. You know, you can just allude to it after that. Being like, wait a second, what is it that he said? And you can just say it. It's like, okay, we have established. He said, it's like, the siren. The siren. Yeah, we heard the word the first 5 times you told us. Just let me die. Yes. I'm so sad. It's a constant spiral. I'm in a constant state of being alive and dead. I'm like a Schrodinger's cat. Okay, this is ridiculous. I think I'm going to be letting it off for the night. This is fun. I'm looking forward to the next one. And again, that will happen next Saturday. So thanks everybody for jumping in. And Mario in the Twitch. I saw Obelisk has hopped in the mixer. And so, hello. Ooh. I do like how Darian wanted to see Clavier's guitar burst into flames. Yeah. that is kind of entertaining. There we go. We had we had a little bit of a faux pas happen just recently. Like, you know, during that stream where I had to loop through a whole bunch of the dialogue after not saving for a long period of time. Whoopsies. So I'll be cutting that out, and I'm going to upload it to the YouTube channel after it's done. I stream on Saturdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays. I'm starting at around 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm still debating on whether or not I want to continue doing Stardew Valley, because I've played Stardew Valley an entire extra year in-game, and really, you're just going to be seeing the exact same thing again a second time. And I don't know how interesting that's supposed to be. I'm just trying to think of like what I could be replacing with. I'm not sure. And then, okay, some other games I'm doing. I got some random roguelikes. I've talked about that. I have been getting a lot more into Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild again, since I've kind of been throwing off the shackles of feeling obligated to do missions, and I've just been looking at things and going, hey, that looks kind of interesting to visit. I'm going to go over there. And genuinely, it's been pretty fun with that. One of this stuff. If I wasn't too frustrated about Nintendo and Content ID, I would love to stream Super Mario Odyssey, but yeah, I can't do that just because I mean I'm already doing one Nintendo series that I can't upload. I don't need to add a second one to my repertoire. Anywho's, that as well as a couple of things that I'm currently working on, and I'm hoping I don't know when that stuff's going to be done, but hey, that'll be fun when it does. Speaking of which, I should probably get back to working on some stuff. So, yeah, I'm done rambling. I've been rambling a whole lot for the end of this little thing. So, and we've also been staring at the back of the courtroom for a long time too. Right. I'm off. It's also very cold. I'm gonna go check the heater just to make sure something's not broken. So, again, thanks for watching. See you next time.